Coming up next on The Voice of Alabama Politics, questions about the census. Also, the V-Team takes a look at a special session for prisons. And Alabama's back in the news. National headline. Not so good.
Read your paper. Thought you might be interested in my reaction.
You bet I am.
Well, sir, it made me throw up.
Throw up? We need a statewide barf bag. All this and much, much more coming up next on The V. Welcome to The Voice of Alabama Politics, where we tackle the tough issues so you have the hard facts. I'm your host, Bill Britt, and as always, I'm joined by the V-Team. Welcome all.
Hi.
Hello,
Hey,
hello,
Josh.
hello. How y'all?
Good.
Welcome.
How are you?
You're looking tan and rested.
Oh yeah, tan, rested, ready, like Nixon.
You don't have Nixon to kick around
That's
anymore.
right.
You know?
That's right.
It's sort of sad when you kind of miss Nixon.
Yeah, I know. Well, now we've got stupid Nixon, so it's, we'll have him kick around a little while.
Yeah, you would have been a little late for the Nixon party, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Colin? All right, well,
It's just like now, except now it's dumber.
the world has gotten dumber. Let's just face it. So that's just the evolution of mankind, right?
Yeah, I think it's supposed to go the other way.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
that's not working.
Certainly not here in Alabama.
That's
Alabama, I was just about to say.
I love the dumbest.
Well, I think State Senator Jim McClendon let the cat out of the bag over this last week, where he said that there would not be an early special session to address prisons. And he said around January, Senator Cam Ward has said much the same. And really, Charlie, they're just looking to come in and do a special session, it appears to me, not to address building prisons, but to address the prison reform.
The actual reforms. And the actual reforms is what I think needs the most focus right now. So I'm at a point where, they can do it in the fall, they can do it in February. Doesn't really matter. It just needs to be done.
Right. I mean, Josh, don't you agree that that kind of, the sentencing reform, justice reform, all these have been big issues for Cam Ward and Governor Kay Ivey?
Yeah, I think, first of all, we do it in January because we safely get football season out of the way, so it's not damaged in any way.
You let the cat out of the bag with that one, didn't you?
God forbid.
I'm sorry. Oops.
God forbid. I think that you're right, that Kay Ivey is probably going to move forward with some sort of new prison project here in the very near future. We've all seen some of the things that she sent out, and so we know that there's some bids and things coming in. And then they're going to address some of the reforms that are required by the federal courts at this point to prevent a federal takeover of the prisons. And so, all of that needs work. There's a lot of things that needs work. There is a lot of money going to be tied up in this, not just with the building of the new prisons there, which, I guess is technically something that we need, to address some of the overcrowding issues and some of the issues of where we just don't have the facilities to treat some of the mental health problems that we're seeing stacked up in a lot of our prisons and jails. But we also are going to have to fix a lot of the system that we have there and hire a boatload of people. And I'm interested to see where the money is going to come from that, or if there's going to be a funding source that's possibly introduced at that time.
Well, I mean, Susan, the thing is, my impression from all evidence we see is that Governor Ivey is going to go with the lease bill. They're not going to have to fight over how they fund the money. McClendon indicated that as well, that they're just going to build the prisons.
Right.
That's what they're going to do.
But
she has the authority. She can do it.
Right, and correct me if I'm wrong, but also the legislature has to figure out a way to pay for those, even if she leases them.
Well, they do.
So they do have some end game in that.
Yeah. They do.
Figure out where the money's coming from.
Yeah.
Well, Governor Ivey's going to build it and go,
Yeah.
Yeah, I know. But I'm saying, they do have to get involved at some point.
She is notorious for going, here's the problem,
Yeah.
fix it.
Yeah. Here's the problem. I've solved.
I don't-
Pay for it.
Yeah, pay for it.
Not seeing any solutions.
Yeah, I'm good about doing that at my house too.
Yeah,
I fix a lot of problems and then tell Steph to fix it.
Yeah.
Pay for it. But
And I no disrespect to the governor. I mean, that's her style. She's like, I see it. Here's my solution to the problem.
Yeah.
Pay for it.
Look, there are going to be some problems with that. I mean, there are going to be some people that give her a great deal of pushback on some of the things that she's done, because I think Chris England and some other people have already pointed out this route is much, much more expensive than it would be if the legislature fixed it. Problem, of course, being the legislature isn't fixing it.
Listen,
They haven't for years. Why start now?
this is the most lily-livered, cowardice bunch of individuals I have ever had the displeasure of walking down the hall with. I mean, they jump when somebody, whispers in the hallway they think might be against them.
Yeah.
They have no courage.
No, well, unless you're passing the gas tax, then they're really courageous.
Well, when you pass gas, they all duck and cover.
No, you're right. It is. They are very afraid of everything, and you've seen that in the last several sessions where they just could not get this done.
No. Well, if it was, and again, I hate to say it, but they just, it's like the fingers in the wind all the time.
All the time. I don't know what they're so afraid of.
I don't either.
And let's not forget.
Confused about. That's not how the legislature's supposed to work.
Well, and let's not forget all the infighting about where they're going to be. If they're going to be close to my district. Oh, they're going to be close to your district. Well, that's not good. Yeah.
The whole
come on,
prison
guys,
system
really?
is broken. It's been broken for decades, and this is an opportunity to fix it. I applaud Governor Ivey for actually doing something. Before we end this session, I want to talk about what I perceive as misinformation. We have Congressman Mo Brooks and Attorney General Steve Marshall, both towering giants of intellectual prowess. What?
I didn't say a word.
Mo Brooks went to Duke.
Yes, and I'm sure Duke's quite proud of it.
But anyway, they are saying, Josh, that if we count all the undocumented people that are in this state,
in the country, yeah.
It's going to cost Alabama a congressional seat. I don't think it's quite that simple.
No, it's never been that simple, and it's been explained to them several times that we're, with or without the question, we're probably going to lose a congressional seat, and it's just basic numbers and basic math about the number of people who have died in the state. We have a pretty high death rate here because we don't have a very good health care system, and there's not enough people moving into the state. We chased off a good number of immigrants, both legal and otherwise, several years ago with a ridiculous bill, and we don't have that many people who want to move to Alabama. I don't know if y'all know this, but our reputation isn't great nationally.
No, let's not forget the number of young people that are leaving because of the lack of opportunities, because of all the backward stuff we do here in
Have you seen
legislation.
our headlines lately in national media? I wouldn't want to come here either.
It's not great, and we seem to strive for that. And this is the tax that we pay for doing dumb things.
Yeah, right. Well, and I think one of the interesting things is we will not, because we count or do not, because we count them or do not count, has nothing to do with losing this, really. It has to do with the fact infant mortality rate is high, death rate is high.
The things they want to sweep under the rug.
And doing the right thing is low.
And I think ultimately not putting that question on here will probably hurt us more than help us because we do have some high population of immigrants in certain areas there where if you don't count those people, you're going to not get the federal funding that you would ordinarily get.
The Founding Fathers wanted us to count every head. I think we should count every head. We'll be right back. You're watching The V, the voice of Alabama. Politics?
Hey man, what are you doing today?
Playing the game. Thought I'd go out for a drive later, maybe. Text some friends while I'm doing it. Scroll through social media. Kill a family 4 and a head-on collision.
Cool, man.
Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
A lot can change in 5 years.
except those smile lines you treated with Bellafill. Because that's about how long Bellafill will keep them smooth and filled. 5 years. Now you can always look your best without all those injections, appointments, and costs. Bellafill is the only dermal filler that stimulates and maintains collagen growth long term. Now time is on your side.
Back to the V, the voice of Alabama politics. Charlie, this past week, Alabama once again made national headlines for all the wrong reasons.
Sure did.
The mayor of Carbon Hill, Alabama, which is just outside of Jasper.
Put Carbon Hill on the map, baby.
The mayor of Carbon Hill, Mark Chambers, said on a Facebook post that we needed the killing out of socialists, LGBTQ people, of baby killers, and also transgender folks.
Transgenders.
Now, this is the mayor of a city in Alabama. It's expressing at least an opinion that all these groups should be killed.
Does he not realize how that affects the community, how the people that identify that way in his community, how that to have your mayor, your public official who represents you and the values and whatever your city stands for, and to have the gall to come back to say, well, I don't really support these, but nobody should be killed. It was all bull.
Yeah, and actually, I believe he said that he made a mistake by making it public.
He did say that.
Exactly.
Not what I said.
Yeah. And this guy says he apologized, but it should never have gone public.
Yeah.
Right.
That doesn't mean that he
doesn't make it
think
better.
And I got a question. How is he going to execute this? Is he going to put everybody up against a wall and have them, in front of a firing squad, or would he like to lynch them? Maybe.
I think gas chambers have been the preferred method in the past.
Yeah.
Oh, but it isn't it not the new asphyxiation method?
Yeah. Nitrogen.
Yeah.
First of all, Mark Chambers is an asshole. Okay, let's just get that straight. But where he is dangerous here is, you could dismiss him as the stupid mayor of Carbon Hill, some city nobody's ever heard of for the most part, especially people outside of Alabama. But when people like that promote that sort of attitude, what it hurts are the people who are the most vulnerable in his community, because there are undoubtedly some gay kids in Carbon Hill. There are undoubtedly, a handful of socialists or whatever. Not that those socialists are a big concern, but those kids that have the highest rates of suicide in the country, those are the people that he's going to hurt. It's not a joke. It's not a Facebook world sort of a thing. It's something that you're actually causing real harm to people.
Well, and the thing that I guess really concerns me is that he said basically, excuse me, this is my private opinion that got made public. Mm-hmm. Do we really live in a society that is so hateful that we think it's okay to murder people because of their beliefs? He's talking, he says he didn't mean it, but the sentiment is to murder. It's murder.
There's any number of kooks in Alabama. Let's get that straight right now. What if somebody takes this mayor seriously and thinks it's okay to go kill these folks? Well, and it could happen.
Even if you just take the sentiment itself, and you don't carry it to the extreme, you have still caused a fair amount of harm to these folks. Mm-hmm. And it's just, Yeah, to your question, yes, there are. There are these people who believe we've used the internet instead, the greatest informational tool of our lifetimes. We've used, instead of using it to better ourselves, we've used it to get into groups and reaffirm our stupidity. Really, in a lot of ways, where people believe it's okay to get together with other folks and hate everybody, and to say awful things like this. And yeah, it became public on this guy here, but there are others. I guarantee you there are other people, when he said this, that agreed with him.
Of course they did.
Must be a Trump American.
I mean, what is a Trump American? Aren't there just Americans?
Mark Chambers.
Spewing hatred.
I tell you, I want to skip. I want to get onto this real quick. We're running out of time, but the Freedom from Religion Foundation, they have taken issue with the Covington County Sheriff because he has been posting about God on his Facebook page. Now, it initially looked like on his personal Facebook page, Susan, but now it looks more like it is the official page.
Right.
Now, if he's posting about God on his personal page, come on, give him a break. He's a sheriff. What is he doing?
Right. If he's posting on his personal page, that's one thing. If he's posting it on a state-affiliated site, that's a different thing. I know John Merrill's running into this right now for blocking people, on his Twitter posts. Because when he blocks them, they're saying now that even though it's his personal, he has used it to disseminate information from the Secretary of State's office, and therefore
and there's
that
a
makes it a
lawsuit
public.
filed, and we'll find out how that all turns out.
Yeah, listen, I wouldn't have any problem with the guy if he was putting it on his personal page or whatever. You can say whatever you want to say. You could advocate for killing people apparently. But if you put it on that site that's run for the sheriff's office right there, it's not very hard to do. It's not very hard to just say, hey, we're going to treat everybody the same, and we're not going to, we're not going to make these comments, and we're just going to reserve that for ourselves. That's how everybody used to behave. We did this on Sunday and we kept it to ourselves.
I think, that again, many of our politicians wear their religion on their sleeve, but not in their heart. And I think that it's fine if you want to go on your Facebook page and promote your religious beliefs and your love for God and all that. That's fine.
Of course, but if it's a page on Facebook that's intended for official business and information for citizens, just
keep it official business. It's real easy to draw that line. Keep it official business of the office for disseminating information and leave it alone.
I don't want people to put all their hate junk on there, and I don't want people to feel like they can't put their beliefs on there. I think social media has gotten to be a source of misinformation and discourse that, unlike what we saw, I remember Susan and I back in the early 90s were talking about how we had expected the internet to fulfill the prophecy of democracy, where it equalized everyone, gave everyone a voice.
How's that going?
And it didn't go well. And instead of giving everyone a voice, it gave the extremes a megaphone. And that's what we have now.
Everybody's just kind of broken into their groups and reaffirmed their little narrow beliefs on things, and they've reached like-minded people who agree with them. And that's essentially what the entire internet is now. It's a group of message boards where everybody either agrees with each other or they shout down somebody who disagrees for a little while.
We no longer listen, and we certainly no longer learn.
No.
We're going to leave it right there. You're watching the voice of Alabama politics. When we come back, we're going to look at the Senate money race.
What a great opportunity for your success. Adding 500,000 highly skilled employees to our workforce by 2025 is how we stay ahead in Alabama. Our economy is stronger than it's been in years, and a skilled workforce is more important than ever. Things move fast, so choose your path. Your success is waiting, plus a great future for Alabama. Success Plus. Go for it.
The Energy Institute of Alabama promotes reliable, affordable, and clean energy to help grow our economy, create high-paying jobs, and build public support for Alabama's energy industry. Access to clean, affordable energy continues to be an issue of vital importance. in the halls of government and around the kitchen tables across our nation. The Energy Institute of Alabama is the best source of energy industry information and how it affects households across the state, from convenient energy production to alternative fuels to solar power and beyond.
What are you doing today, babe?
I thought I'd head down to the lake with the guys, do a little fishing. Of course, none of us will be wearing our seatbelts. I'll lose control of the truck, wrap it around a tree, and kill us all.
Okay.
Drive safe, Alabama. A message from your Alabama Department of Transportation.
Welcome back to the V, the voice of Alabama politics. Susan, the money race is on for the U.S. Senate. They have not filed for the second quarter yet. Most of them. We should have that any day now. Mm-hmm. But Arnold Mooney, State Rep Arnold Mooney, he's running for the U.S. Senate seat to try to take on Doug Jones. He announced that he'd raised $300,000. Mm-hmm. Right now, Bradley Byrne has raised upwards of $2 million. And Doug Jones, who's defending his Senate seat, has around 1.6. Mm-hmm. So we're looking to see what Roy Moore, John Merrill, Tommy Tuberville will take in.
Right, they haven't reported yet, so I mean, we'll find out the next cycle. It's going to take a lot of money for this race because there's so many people in it. You're going to have to really outraise the other one. That's probably where you're going to end up with the election, is seeing who raises the most money, who's able to get their message out most efficiently with that amount of money. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, I know that this is how the world goes around and works and all, but I mean, when you see the numbers that people have given Bradley Byrne $2 million and they've given Doug Jones that's $3.6 million. $3.6 million to run ads and and run
put signs in yards.
A Senate campaign for Alabama.
Right, and remember, they can't raise. It's not like a state race where somebody can walk in and hand you $50,000.
Yeah, and so it's all small amount.
Yeah, $2,700.
$2,700, I think, is the limit.
And it's just insane. It's really the amount of money that goes into these is just insane.
The last special Senate race.
Yeah.
Was what? Way over $40 million?
Yeah, it was
something like that.
A lot of cash.
A whole lot of money.
And it's just, and it's for 2 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It was for 2 years. And it makes no sense. I mean, if you just actually step back, I mean, I know this is normal, and what I'm saying that thousands of people have said, but if you just step back for just a second and think about that we've donated $3.6 million to 2 guys in this Senate race, and it's going to be over $50 million by the time that we get down to it.
Oh, yeah.
And it just, the amount of good that money could do in other places is really, I mean.
You really are, I feel his head.
I know.
Feel his forehead.
I know.
You may have a fever.
Thought.
But listen, if you want to spend it with us, we're perfectly
I mean, those ad dollars.
Thanks for that.
But the thing, and I guess this is what you're saying, but a Senate race these days can be a $30, $50 million opportunity. And Charlie, it's because there's so much power. There are only 100 senators? Mm-hmm. That's it. You're 1 out of 100, and you can do a lot of good or a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm. And what they need to get that power is money. Money equals power in this situation. So, I mean, it's really, and it's what's hard about it to me is, depending on whether or not they're a good candidate, it really is just going to boil down to who has the most money.
Yeah.
And whether, they're the best one or not, if they have the big bucks, then that's who we got. That's who we're stuck with.
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's just a fact of life.
It's a scary thing is what, know.
Yeah, I mean, look around the state. This is how we've done most of our elections here in the state, and look what we have.
Yeah. Well, look, unless it is Roy Moore, mm-hmm. then whoever the other candidate on the Republican side is going to beat Doug Jones. That's just almost a given.
Roy Moore is going to beat Doug Jones, okay? I mean, it's just all there is to it. All right, there's just, it was so razor thin before.
Yeah, 1%.
And that was without the straight ticket Republican vote on it, And so you're not going to get it. A bunch of Republicans are going to go vote because it's in a presidential race.
I know, and they've been putting out these phony polls on Roy Moore saying he's got 13% and all.
Never.
Those are just phony.
Never. He never is below 30 to 35%.
Even if he's at 25, he's in a runoff.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see his numbers because I'm pretty sure he hadn't even had time to start sending out the signed Bibles yet. So, we got that to look forward to.
True.
He did send out a fundraiser this week that said help him beat the elitist, the elite Republicans and the establishment, and that's his voters, right? I mean,
And that's exactly what will play.
And they always show up.
Look, I'm not sophisticated enough to dismiss Roy Moore. If he runs hard, he will get in a runoff.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah.
It's just a question of if Roy Moore and who.
I love how these
Whoever has the most money.
some of these phony guys that get paid to go out and talk about these campaigns like they're some experts. Out talking about, it's going to come down to Byrne and Tuberville. Over the 4th of July, Charlie, Tuberville and Byrne sent out Facebook and Twitter posts celebrating the 4th of July. What was John Merrill doing?
John Merrill, I believe, went to 12 to 13 events.
Yeah.
Over that
Showed up,
time.
Yeah.
met people,
Yeah.
shook their hand.
Yeah.
Look, here's, okay. You talk to these people that do this for a living and say, okay, right now, I've got $1,000.
Yeah.
I'll put 1,000 on Roy. You put 1,000 on Byrne or Tuberville.
Yeah.
We'll take that bet.
Yeah. Yeah.
Let's see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, but listen, if Roy works hard, he's in the runoff. If Merrill just does what Merrill does, he is one of the best retail politicians the state has ever had.
Yeah.
He will knock people down to shake your hand. And I tell you, and this is not.
But it's sincere.
It is.
It's sincere. It's not.
That's not
phony.
him working hard. That's just him working.
That's
He
just
always
him.
Yeah, he always works hard.
Always.
I was talking to a Politico the other day. He said, the thing about John Merrill is he's got friends all over the state because he likes you and he means it, and that's going to be big. I think that's a big deal. Before we get out of here, Josh, we got about 59 seconds. The Charter School Commission in Alabama ain't doing so hot, right?
Well, the Charter School Commission continues to violate the laws of the
That's an important thing.
Yeah, it is kind of. But the question is, and I'm going to look into this a little more, in the next week or so here, and get some people's opinion on this who helped put the Charter School Commission in place, is exactly who has oversight of the Charter School Commission. Because I thought it was the State Department of Education. Well, maybe. We'll see.
But isn't it illegal for them not to have oversight? Isn't
Well,
that part of the
that was
bylaws?
part of that was what was in the law was we were going to have oversight and we were going to have national standards and a lot of different
And
things.
again, nobody knows who's.
But I mean, isn't that so our legislature to say, we'll have oversight, we'll have, and then not do it?
Yeah, and then not do it, and then be disappointed later on down the road when these things don't work out.
Well, some Republicans are asking the right questions. Hopefully we can get the right answers.
Yeah.
All right, we have to leave it right there. You've been watching The V, the voice of Alabama politics. You watch us because we watch them.